Welcome back, everyone. We know you want to stay informed without getting bogged down, so today we're doing a deep dive into something pretty mind-bending.
Absolutely. We're talking solar panels that work at night.
Exactly. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But we've got some fascinating research from Stanford University and a great report from EcoPortal to unpack this.
Yeah, and our mission today is really to get our heads around how this is even possible, what kind of impact it could actually have, for real people, and why it's such a potentially big deal.
Okay, let's jump right in. Nighttime solar. My first thought is, well, solar panels need sun. How does this work in the dark?
That's the standard thinking, absolutely. And for your typical solar panel, yes, sun is key. But this new approach uses a completely different principle, radiative cooling.
Radiative cooling.
Yeah, think of it like this. On a clear night, the Earth is constantly radiating heat outwards, losing it into the coldness of space. It just happens naturally.
Okay, so it's not grabbing sunlight, it's tapping into heat leaving the Earth.
Precisely. It's a clever twist. The Stanford team essentially integrated thermoelectric generators into specialized panels.
Thermoelectric generators. Right, those things that make electricity from a temperature difference.
Exactly. So the panel cools down because it's radiating heat out. On a clear night, it can get colder than the air around it. It's that temperature difference between the cool panel and the slightly warmer air that the generator converts into electricity.
Huh. Okay, now the reports mention the output, something like 50 milliwatts per square meter, which compared to daytime solar panels getting, 200 watts? Sounds really small.
Oh, it is. It's definitely a fraction of daytime power, no doubt about it. 50 milliwatts versus 200 watts is a huge difference.
So what's the point then if it's so little?
Well, that's the interesting part. Even that small trickle of power can be incredibly useful. The sources talk about powering low-energy devices, think environmental sensors, basic LED lighting.
Ah, okay. So not running your air conditioner, but maybe keeping a sensor network online overnight in a remote field.
Exactly that kind of thing. Or providing essential light in off-grid homes. And EcoPortal stressed the need for clear nights.
Right. Why is that so critical? Clouds get in the way.
They do. Think of clouds like a blanket. They trap the heat radiating from the Earth, reflecting some of it back down.
So the panel can't cool down as much, less temperature difference.
Precisely. The temperature difference shrinks, and the thermoelectric generator produces less, or maybe even no power. Professor Sean Hufan at Stanford, he acknowledged the output is modest right now.
Yeah.
But crucially, he also emphasized there's significant potential for improvement. That's key. This is early days.
Okay, so it's a new concept, small output now, but potentially improvable. Let's talk impact. Where could this actually make a difference? You mentioned off-grid communities.
Yeah, this could be huge for them. EcoPortal highlighted a pretty staggering statistic. Around 770 million people globally still lack access to electricity.
770 million. Wow.
Yeah, so imagine providing even just enough power for basic lighting or charging a small device reliably at night in those areas. It could genuinely improve quality of life, extend productive hours.
It bridges that gap when daytime solar isn't generating. And the Stanford research mentioned reducing reliance on batteries too. Why is that important?
Well, batteries are great for storage, but making them and disposing of them isn't, without environmental concerns. There's the mining for materials like lithium and cobalt, and then the recycling challenge.
Right, the whole life cycle cost.
Exactly. So if you can generate some power continuously through the night, maybe you don't need such large, expensive, and resource-intensive battery banks. It complements daytime solar for a potentially greener, more reliable system overall.
A more continuous flow of renewable energy day and night. That makes a lot of sense.
It does. It helps build up that reliable baseload from renewables. And, the underlying science, this radiative cooling thing, it's not just for nighttime power generation.
Oh, yeah. What else?
The sources mention some other cool applications like sky cool systems. They're using the same principle during the day to cool buildings without using electricity.
How does that work? Radiating heat away.
Basically, yeah. They have materials that are really good at radiating heat out towards the sky, even under direct sunlight, effectively cooling whatever is underneath. Zero-energy air conditioning, potentially.
That's clever.
And then there's work at ETH Zurich using radiative cooling to, get this, condense water vapor from the air.
To create drinking water.
Exactly, in dry areas. By cooling a surface below the dew point using radiative cooling, they can pull water right out of the air. It just shows how versatile this natural process is.
So this core idea has legs beyond just the nighttime solar panels. Looking ahead then, what's the vibe from the sources? Are we talking distant future tech or...
The feeling is definitely one of cautious optimism. EcoPortal seemed pretty excited. It's acknowledged that it's early-stage
It
technology.
needs development?
Absolutely. But the fact that it works, that you can fundamentally generate electricity from a solar panel when the sun isn't out, that's the breakthrough. It's a paradigm shift.
A whole new way to think about harvesting energy.
Yes. And the potential for improving the efficiency, getting more power out of these panels, seems significant. Researchers are already looking at better materials, different designs. Imagine if they could boost that output considerably.
It really could change the game for sustainable energy, tapping into this natural heat loss process.
It could. And as EcoPortal pointed out, the potential impact on communities currently lacking reliable power is just immense. It unlocks possibilities.
So wrapping this up, the key takeaway here seems to be that generating electricity from radiative cooling at night is, well, it's real. It's happening.
It is. It's a tangible technology. Even if it's still evolving, it opens up this whole new avenue for more dependable renewable energy.
A testament to innovation, really. Finding energy in unexpected places.
Definitely. Harnessing natural processes in novel ways.
Okay, so here's something to think about as we close. If, or perhaps when, the efficiency of these nighttime panels gets better, maybe significantly better, how could that start to reshape our energy infrastructure? Especially, in places that struggle most with energy access right now. What might that future look like? Something to keep an eye on for sure.